Good morning, all. So today's going to be a tack tip for you guys, and I'm pretty particular with how I bridle my horses, especially young colts. And the reason being is, though, if you don't do things in a manner in which that it kind of helps your horses, and you bang a young colt's teeth too many times, you're going to make them pretty bracy to bridle. Or if you have really poor hands when you're riding, you're going to notice that your horses aren't going to want to accept the bridle. And you're going to have to, I've seen people in parking lots fighting with trying to bridle horses. And, you know, the horse is telling you guys something. Maybe you should listen. But one of the first things that I do, if you notice, I never put a loop around my arm. I never do this. I never put my arm inside of a loop. Not in the lead rope, not in my McCarty, not ever. Because that's a good way to get hung up. I always fold everything in half. It's only doubled up. That way, if something were to scare my horse in the middle of bridling and she decides to take off, I don't have anything wrapped around my arm. Okay? The importance of being squared away before you approach this job too. Get everything in order. Don't come up here without a plan. Come up here with a plan. Kind of have everything squared away, ready to slip on your horse. Then you come in and I'll unhook her from the cross ties. Now my horses have all been trained to drop their head. And this is why. Because I don't want my horse to pick their head up like a giraffe and bang their teeth when I'm trying to bridle. So if you notice this horse, she keeps her head in a position where I can work on her. Because every time she had lifted her head, I asked her to drop it. So now she realizes if she just hangs it right here, she doesn't have to keep working on dropping her head, picking it up, dropping it. So she just stays right where she needs to be. I'll drop this out. So the first step is making sure that you stay clear of this eye. So I switch hands with my bridle, right? So I'm past the eye. I take this, and if you watch, my horse will actually just grab this bit. That tells me a lot about my hands. I'm past the eye, I slip the ear in. See how I'm over the eye and I'm not on this eye either? Then I take this and I fold the ear forward and slip it back. At this point, now I can bring the bridle up over. And if she had a saddle horn, I would just half hitch this right over top of my saddle horn. Now I can get everything else squared away with her ears, her throat latch. You know, you can come up in here and do all your throat latch. My bit hobble's already on this particular, but I would then do my bit hobble. This is a rawhide bit hobble. I don't need to take it on and off because it's plenty loose and she can pick up the bridle. But if you notice, I never have a loop. That's very important, you guys, for your safety. You never know. If you have a loop like this and something scares the horse and she flies backwards and this gets wrapped around your arm like that, that's a good way to break your arm or maybe even lose your wrist. I put up a different reel or so, a video of a lady who lost her wrist or lost her hand because of that. So I never ever loop anything. It's folded in half and then it goes across. In reverse, it's the same deal. So I would unhalf hitch this, get prepared. Come in here with a plan. Don't just come in here and go, oh, I'm gonna go do it. First things first, I bring my reins up, right up with my bridle, and I lay them right there, squared away. If you look, the loops are pretty even right here, okay? Now I'm gonna undo the throat latch. Undo this throat latch. Now everything is squared away to come off of her, right? I simply pick up my holder, come over here, and I get squared away, right? So I'm gonna ask her to drop her head, I reach over and I grab this holder. I'm ready to go. Take my left hand and I take it over my left ear, around the eye, right here, and I allow my horse to drop that bit out. Now watch what I do with this. I simply just put my wrist through it. Now my hand's free to reach down here and grab my halter. Now I can just scoop my horse's nose up, bring this over, and then you begin to tie your knot. Come over here, Jamie, and I'll show this knot again. I've had 1,000 people ask me how to tie this knot. It goes in from the back side. Here's the base of the tree. It goes behind the base of the tree and back through here, like that. That makes a square knot. If you are tying these rope holders like this, and your knot is above this, you are tying it incorrectly. And if your horse ever sits back on this, you will end up having to cut this lead rope because that knot will get so tight you'll never get it out. That's the whole point of doing this knot right here. Come in from behind, around the tree, there's your hole. You tuck it back in. The tail of the rope should be pointed towards the tail of the horse. Should be a figure 8. Any other way than that, when it's finished, if it doesn't look like this, then it is incorrect. Thank y'all. I hope that helps. And have a good afternoon.